The big news today on Fox News, we're going to be talking about Lyme disease. And so what really is new with Lyme disease, it's been around for almost 3 decades, but we're seeing that there is a real epidemic of Lyme disease. And if you have questions about this, you can call the studio 877-970-2999, and I'm happy to answer any questions. It's a story about Yolanda Foster, who's, as you know, she was part of the Beverly Hills Housewife series, and she got so sick dealing with this disease after 2 years that she finally decided to go to Germany and get some sort of a stem cell transplant in order to treat her Lyme disease. What is Lyme disease? It's basically you get this from a tick bite. When you're out there in jungles and forests, you may get this tick bite. And then what it does, it's basically, the name of this is Borrelia burgdorferi. And Borrelia burgdorferi is some sort of a bacteria that can get into your system and then spread all over the place. Can go to your joint, can go to the central nervous system, can cause a lot of muscle pain and joint pain, fever, fatigue. And what happens with a lot of these patients is that, since the doctors can't really diagnose it well, and we look for these antibodies that may take about a month or so, but sometimes you can't detect this disease. And obviously, there's really no good treatment. Early on, we can give you some antibiotics for about 2 weeks, and it can knock it out, whether it's doxycycline or amoxicillin. And for the most part, if you have that bullseye rash, which you see in about 80% of the time, we can treat it, and you should be fine. A lot of times, it may go undetected, and it can become a real chronic problem. And chronic Lyme disease, which is a little bit controversial, and depending on which doctor you talk to, they may believe it or not. But the bottom line is these patients, they go from doctor to doctor. They get labeled that they have chronic fatigue, they have Crohn's, they have MS, they have ALS, all chronic, all of these diseases that nobody knows. Sometimes they even call them crazy, or they may have psychotic issues or psychosomatic. So there's a big debate among doctors whether this chronic Lyme disease exists or not. And the reason why is because we don't know how to diagnose it well. We don't have a real good treatment. Based on everything that I've read, prolonged antibiotics is not going to really help this. And certainly stem cell transplant, which is not allowed in this country yet. She's going to Germany to get this done. I think it's controversial, and I'm not sure if it's going to help her. We wish her lots of luck. And if you've been exposed to Lyme disease, or if you have any of these side effects, definitely let us know, and I'd like to hear from you.